Gohan, the son of Goku and Chi-Chi, the father of Pan, and the husband of Videl. He is a prodigy warrior and started fighting at the very young age of 4, fighting against extraordinary tough warriors, already showing impressive feats than his father was when he was younger. But before we go over and find out the reason why Gohan changed, let's start from the beginning. The arrival of his uncle Raditz. He came to Earth to look for his brother, but in the middle of this whole ordeal takes Gohan away. After a tough battle between Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz, a sudden rise of power appears out of nowhere. And it's not from those three, it's actually Gohan. Because of his rage outburst, his power level peaked over 1,370 and rising. This shows us the viewers a glimpse of Gohan's potential, and I'll be going more on that later on. After the death of his father and his uncle, now a new problem arises, the arrival of the Saiyans, more stronger than Raditz. Now, Gohan and the rest of the Z Fighters will have no choice but to prepare and train for the Saiyans, and all they have is 1 year. By that point, Gohan will be 5 years old when the Saiyans arrive, and already the pressure is high. He's essentially giving his life for the sake of saving Earth at just 5 years old. So, for the viewers that are annoyed with Gohan because he's just too scared or isn't helping out, he's 5, so just letting you know. What's also crazier is that he then later travels across space and fought against aliens, and he's still 5 years old. When I was 5, I was probably not even conscious or aware at that point. The whole Frieza saga took around 10 months, so we can assume Gohan would now be 6 years old at the end of the saga. Once the Cell Saga begins, this takes place 3 years after Trunks' initial warning for the android, so Gohan would be 9 years old during the Cell Saga. But there was a moment where Gohan was in the time chamber with his dad, so he stayed about there for a year, so technically he would be 10 years old. Gohan has accomplished so much within the first 10 years of existing. I mean, he saved the planet for crying out loud, but that doesn't also mean that he's seen too much. He's witnessed so much death and destruction, and that I can't blame Chi-Chi for trying to make Gohan to study and be a regular person, but we all know that's not going to happen. Even at one point, Gohan was stronger than his dad when he achieved the Super Saiyan 2 form and defeated Cell with just only one arm. 7 years later, and Gohan is not the same person as he was all those years ago. Sure, he's still stronger than average, but this made Vegeta very upset towards Gohan and tells him that he's wasting that talent just for him to be soft. I mean, you can't blame Vegeta. If he had what Gohan had, he would never stop training and push himself beyond the limits. But that's the same mentality. Gohan is still half human, so he's still got the human traits and emotion like anyone else here on Earth. In defense for Gohan, there hasn't been a threat on Earth for the last 7 years, so he assumed it's best to lay low and focus more on school like his mom was telling him to. What's special about Gohan is that he is quick to catch up after long breaks. Strong examples are after the Buu Saga when Gohan fought against Super Buu, and another is in the Tournament of Power when Gohan hardly trains again after 4 years since Majin Buu, and was chosen to become a fighter to represent Universe 7. Another great example is in Dragable Super Hero, when Gohan literally becomes the strongest fighter in the universe when he transformed into his beast form, which takes place 5 years after the Tournament of Power. After so many back and forth of whether or not he should come back to fighting or focus being a scholar and a family man, so why the constant changes? There's 2 reasons. One, again like I said before, he is half human, so he's still got the human traits and human emotions that all of us would feel after training or felt mentally strained that we would all agree to take a break or change different courses. I mean, he started fighting at just the age of 4, and he never had that choice. He never really enjoyed fighting to begin with. He can if he has to, but that wasn't his ideal future anyways. And that's what the beauty of his character. Born with extraordinary gifts and is destined for greatness. But that's what everyone else thinks that's best for Gohan. I mean, it just makes sense, right? But Gohan doesn't see that it being his future. He is a perfect example of a wasted potential, and it's not a negative way at all. We just saw Gohan become as strong as his father, or even stronger. I mean, it's more like what people want what's best for you rather than what you believe is best for yourself. But there is nothing wrong when you decide to change your routes a couple times in your life. All that matters is that what you believe is best for yourself. The second reason is that based on a rumor, Gohan is supposed to be the main character after the Cell Saga, taking over his father's role as the newest strongest fighter. Apparently, Akira Toriyama, the author of the franchise, believed that Gohan isn't ready to take over and brings back Goku from the dead and return as the main character yet again. I couldn't find solid evidence to back that claim, so take it with a grain of salt. So overall, Gohan as a character is great, but it isn't perfect. There is still inconsistency that don't favor Gohan's character, which I'm not a fan of. As I previously mentioned, the back and forth of being a scholar or a fighter, but what I like about what Akira Toriyama did for Gohan is that he made him real. He made him that anyone can relate to what Gohan is going through, which is why Gohan is one of my favorite characters. The expectations people have on you and their vision of what they expect you to be, which is completely different of what you wanted to be. And that what makes a perfect character arc for Gohan. And it's right on the nose and it just can't quite get it right, unfortunately. Let me know in the comments below if I missed any details about Gohan as a character, or comment what other characters I should deep dive next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.